What is going on, Cubs fam? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone. It is Christmas Eve, and we're going to have a fun video for you guys today. We're having a really fun chat on my stream about who are the next galactic legends going to be in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and the Cubs fam has put together a prediction list for you guys based on the shows that are coming in 2022. So we've divided 4 categories of predictions from the Book of Boba Fett, from the Andor show, from the Kenobi show, and from the Ahsoka show, all of which I believe are supposed to come out in 2022, barring any changes. I do believe we're also going to get another season of Bad Batch, but I'm not really thinking that they do a Galactic Legend for an animated series, so we're going to kind of leave that one off. For now, sorry to all you Bad Batch fans out there if you feel like that's a bad form, but this is the batch that we're going to do today. I've been hanging out with my kids a lot. I've got dad jokes coming out the wazoo. So let's start with Andor. Now, this is probably, I think, the most likely GL we could see from the Andor show. Based on the timeline, we could get a really solid version of Leia at this point in the timeline. And it would be young Leia, of course, pre-episode 4 Leia. She would be it'd definitely be Princess Leia at this point. I'm not sure exactly what we would call her at this point in her timeline. Some people were talking about, maybe we would see Leia with a lightsaber, but it's not going to match up with that timeline, right? That would have to be after episode 6. Although, CG, I would give you permission to give us Leia with the lightsaber, even though it doesn't match with the timeline, just because it would be amazing. Now, we don't know exactly which characters are going to show up in the Andor show. We actually know a very little amount about the Andor show. I don't think that Cassian is necessarily a GL that we would see from that show, and but I do think we'd probably see a new Cassian. If we get a GL, I think it's Leia. Tarkin is another option that could show up in that show, and I think maybe would be Galactic Legend worthy if they wanted to spin it that way, but maybe not. So far, we have not had any Galactic Legends that aren't Force-sensitive Galactic Legends. And so, I guess technically Leia is Force-sensitive, but this version of Leia probably wouldn't be using Force abilities, and Tarkin definitely wouldn't, so it would be breaking the mold. If I were to predict, I'm going to guess that we don't see a Galactic Legend from the Andor show, but I still do like, we're just going to make predictions for each show. All right, moving on to the Book of Boba Fett. I actually kind of swapped the order of these because Book of Boba Fett is coming out soonest. So, out of all of the characters we know are in Book of Boba Fett so far, none of them really feel Galactic Legend worthy. The one character I would have predicted would easily be Boba Fett, but we already have him coming to the game, and we already know he's not a Galactic Legend. And so it almost feels like we probably won't see a Galactic Legend from the Book of Boba Fett either. But if we were to get one, why not chuck Hondo into the mix? Maybe he wouldn't be a Galactic Legend, but how many times have I been on here pounding on the pulpit asking for Hondo to come to the game? So maybe we'll get him anyway. Maybe he'll show up in Book of Boba Fett. Maybe he wouldn't be a Galactic Legend, but my personal fan bias is that he would definitely be Galactic Legend worthy. And then the one big character that I think could be Galactic Legend worthy, would be Galactic Legend worthy, that is rumored to be showing up in Book of Boba Fett is your boy Han. Now, there's a lot of reasons why we wouldn't get a Galactic Legend Han or even another version of Han. We have so many Hans in the game right now. And so I don't think it really makes sense for them to give us another Han. I don't know how that would be exciting for anybody. However, if he did show up in Book of Boba Fett, we got, kind of an older version of Han, not as old as Force Awakens Han, then that is a character that in the universe, I think, is suited to be poised as a Galactic Legend. I just think with what has happened in Galaxy of Heroes, it would just feel weird to me if we got another version of Han in the game. And so I'm not taking this one to the bank at all. I'm just thinking of possibilities within the Book of Boba Fett. Now, the Kenobi show gets a lot more exciting. There are a lot of characters, I think, that could show up as Galactic Legends in this show. The first big hope is Jabba. Look, Kenobi is obviously going to be on Tatooine. The probability of him having run-ins with Jabba the Hutt are very high. Very, very high. And so that could be an opportunity for us to finally get Jabba the Hutt. Would he be Galactic Legend worthy? I mean, that's kind of up for debate. So maybe it's more just, I hope we see Jabba the Hutt. But I think he'd be Galactic Legend worthy. Why not? He's freaking Jabba the Hutt. And so we'll see. But the others that I think would really make sense are Kenobi and Darth Vader. Now, we kind of got the other side of this argument, which I mean, we already have Lord Vader and Galactic Legend Kenobi. So if they did another Kenobi and Vader, it just wouldn't make a ton of sense, would it? I mean, within the context of Galaxy of Heroes. But that said, if they're doing a whole show about Kenobi, it's an older version of Kenobi. We got, Vader hopefully in his prime that we're going to see. This is art from the show that's been revealed. We clearly know they're going to have some kind of lightsaber fights. I have a hard time seeing the Kenobi show hitting the Star Wars world and having CG not respond by giving us characters from that movie or from that show. And it would feel weird if they didn't give us the main characters. So maybe they could give us more Kenobi and Vader Galactic Legends. I don't know. A lot of this, because there's just been, it's kind of a byproduct, I think, of how old this game is. So many of the things that they could do are things that we've already seen in the game. And so it kind of starts feeling congested. I also really think, this is a side note, I don't think there'll be GLs, but I really think we're going to see Inquisitors hit the game after the Kenobi show. We've also seen art of what I think looks like Trilla for the Kenobi show. If you haven't seen that, look it up. They've got some art that they've released, and I have a feeling we're probably going to see a trailer soon for that now that Spider-Man No Way Home's out. I think that Disney wanted to let all of that hype take its full course without anybody getting in the way. And Kenobi would definitely be something that gets in the way. So, all right. Finally, we're going to talk about the Ahsoka show. Now, out of everything that we've talked about so far, I feel pretty lukewarm about. I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see what these shows bring. Ahsoka, I think, has two potential characters that would make a ton of sense to do a Galactic Legend pair with. And that is Thrawn and Ezra. Now, maybe Thrawn and Ahsoka. Okay, maybe Thrawn and Ahsoka instead. Maybe Ezra's not Galactic Legend worthy, but do not tell me that Thrawn is not Galactic Legend worthy. And we know, based on Mandalorian Season 2, that Ahsoka is going to be looking for Thrawn. She's already looking for Thrawn. It's the whole setup for Ahsoka is there, right? She's obviously on the hunt for Thrawn. I would be shocked if she wasn't on the hunt for Ezra as well. And so the stage is set for something like this. And it would just be, I mean, even if we don't get a Galactic Legend version of Thrawn, having another version of Thrawn in the game would be really exciting. I know he's a fan favorite, and we would probably be able to see new artwork on Thrawn because we're going to get, we're going to get live action Thrawn in that show. It would be very, very strange if they set up the show the way they did and we didn't end up getting live action Thrawn. We already have several versions of Ahsoka in the game, 3 right now. So a 4th version of Ahsoka. I mean, we've got so many Hans in the game. It wouldn't be the only character with 4+ versions in the game. But I could see them doing a Galactic Legend Ahsoka as a result. We don't really have a Rosario Dawson version of Ahsoka in the game right now, other than they kind of updated some of the artwork to kind of look similar. They did a blend between the cartoon and Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, which I didn't love that they did, by the way. I kind of want to let the cartoon art be the cartoon art, and then if you want to give us Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, go ahead and do that. So anyway, those are the main characters I think that could be candidates for Galactic Legend in the year 2022. It does sound like they're taking a break from Galactic Legends for a little bit, but I do expect to see one probably towards the beginning of next year. So we're just going to have to wait and see what Book of Boba Fett brings to us and what characters could potentially be on the list for Galactic Legends. We may be able to refine and tweak this list, but once we start seeing which characters are showing up in these shows. So we are finally here, guys. Lots of exciting Star Wars content around the corner. Book of Boba Fett is coming out next week. We've got Christmas this week. I hope you guys all have a great holiday season. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Go give your loved ones a hug. Drop a like on the video. Leave a comment and tell me what your favorite Christmas tradition is, especially bonus credit if it has something to do with Star Wars. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting out of here. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, Cubs fam. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.